Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody was kung flu fighting. I was calling it the kung flu. 6 months back, Donald Trump was doing the same. Facebook was flagging all my posts because I was referring to it as the kung flu, and it was racially insensitive to make a satirical parody of a song by adding an L, because it was the song was kung fu fighting, so kung fu is okay, but kung flu no. It's very distracting, Mike. I know you're leaving, so you don't care about me anymore, but it's very distracting when I'm trying to stare at the camera over there, and sounds like there's 3 raccoons scrambling around in my attic on the side here. So I'm trying to focus there. Like, I tell you all the time, you got to keep eye contact there. But there's like rustling going on here, like a bunch of raccoons. I'm not kidding you. Ava, remember we had the raccoon in the attic? It was like scrambling around. And you just That's what I'm hearing. All right. Anyway, recently Michael Savage, one of the best AM talk radio guys, announced that he's getting off radio, right? Do we have Ioannis? Let me know if we have Ioannis. So Michael Savage says he's getting off talk radio. He's out, okay? And he says that it's too constraining in this modern age of technology. Like, why am I trapped in those 2 hours? Or why do I only get to talk about the news that happens right while I'm on the air? And he announced he's going full podcast. That's it. He's just doing podcast, and going to go on whenever he feels like he can go on 2-3 times a day. He can go on no times a day, And one of the things that he was saying was that he's famous, he's great, knows a lot about health, nutrition, science. He's not just a good talk radio guy, right? And he's saying that sometimes he does this like stream of consciousness. He's about to talk about that, but something pops up, and then he goes off this whole nother tangent, and he loves it. But then on radio, you're facing a commercial in like a minute and a half, so you have to actually shut down what you want to talk about because you're looking at the clock, and the commercial's coming and all this other stuff. So you're not actually expressing your greatest talents in the way you want to, right? I go off on the craziest tangents, and I love it. And a lot of people message me and say, hey, John, when you talk about these things that are just off the cuff, I feel like it's genuine, and it applies to a lot of us. Like, we've all probably had a raccoon or a squirrel in our attic, and I just had one right here next to me. Mikey was scrambling around the papers in there like it was a squirrel or a raccoon. So I believe that we have our next guest with us right now, Ioannis Gatsiounis, OpEd contributor, run articles with the Wall Street Journal, San Francisco Chronicle, Washington Post, Daily News, all this other stuff. Is Ioannis with us, Mike?
He should be. Check.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. How are you, brother? Okay, good. Excellent. So, the tension right now, brother, is like, and if I'm misidentifying you, my apologies by referring to you as brother, but what's happening in our country right now between Republicans, Democrats, it's not just at the political level, it's to the street level, where people who have been friends for years are like unfriending, and they hate each other, and they won't talk anymore because Biden-Trump or something like that, right? Is there anything we could do as a people, a popular movement or something, to try to ease the tensions, at least down at the peasant level for us regular folk?
There is. I think it starts with relationships, and I think that's where we've gone off track. We've done everything we can to reject the other side. We're never self-reflecting, always saying what you have to do to improve the situation, and that is a recipe for disaster, as we can see moving into 2021.
It's scary as can be because, I'm not even in a political party personally. I'm like, an independent libertarian type, right?
That's a wiser move as we move forward. The way both parties are looking, less and less attractive, rational.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm looking at the landscape, and I feel like most of the people I like and I socialize with, I communicate with, I work with, or even my further out concentric circles are people that can moderate how they feel about politics. Like no one I know is 100% red or 100% blue, other than the ones I do know are nuts, right? So I feel like we all have kind of reds and blues. And the joke's kind of on us. They don't want us.
Right? Deep down, we do.
Yeah.
But we've got to the point where we insist we're either all red, all blue, and it's created a mess. And that's why 2021 could be worse than 2020. Everybody talks about 2020 in the past tense. It was a bad year without realizing 2021 could just be an extension of that, particularly at the political level.
Yeah, no, well, I mean...
We've got a lot of work to do. Not just pointing the finger at each other anymore, but self-reflecting on what we can do to improve the situation.
Well,
the left has gone crazy with its identity politics. The right has gotten pathological about its denial of the election results. The list goes on from there.
I know, but it's like, I got two younger brothers. It's like in the old days, like, in the beginning, they do something to you. You don't go over there with an olive branch. You know what I mean? You go over there with a wiffle ball bat and hit him in the back of the calves, right? And then, he doesn't say, "Well, I'm sorry, and you're sorry, so let's go get some espresso." He comes back, and puts the garden snake in under your sheets. And you know what I mean? So it's like right now, I feel like we're still at the point where it's, lob after lob after lob after lob.
You can afford to be that way on a personal level, but not on a national political level. It's just going to weaken us as a country.
Right, but I think it is. Ioannis.
It is already.
And then when you're talking about the left and turning the identity politics, right? Now, Nancy Pelosi in her first...
The right feeds that. Remember that. The right feeds that with some of its antics.
Agreed, but...
It's a rational strain in our politics, but the right is fueling that fire.
I don't disagree with you. And I said, I come down in the middle on a lot of things. But what I would say is this. When I see Nancy Pelosi's first move in her new Congress is to change the rules to eliminate terms like mother and father and son and daughter, then I feel like the tail is wagging the dog, because instead of creating a set of circumstances where people who choose to be non-binary feel more welcomed and equal, they want to pander to them to the max and say, we can't satisfy you as you. So what we'll do is we'll make everyone else you.
And when we draw so much attention to identity markers, it's hard to make those people feel accepted. It's hard for them to feel accepted. Because instead of being seen as people, it's you're this, you're that. Call me Zay or Ray or whatever the latest politically correct gender pronoun is. That's fashionable these days.
Remember the old Saturday Night Live clip? You can call me Ray or you can call me Jay, but just don't call me Johnson. It's like every month, I don't
remember that one, but I remember Pat.
Yeah, in New York.
America's first transgender celebrity.
Oh, right. In New York City, you could put like Z on your birth certificate now if you don't want to declare what this human being's physical genitalia has identified them as. You can call them nothing at this point, right?
That solves nothing.
No, but it's the same thing. You're almost forcing the perception on this kid as they get to understand. By telling them, well, we didn't know if you were normal when you were born, or abnormal, or neuter, or binary. We don't know what you are. So it's like, just the medical science says it. But I feel like Andrew Cuomo was talking about this legislation here in New York where they could jail you if they think you may be a nuisance that causes a public health risk. And Nancy Pelosi is eliminating mother, father, daughter, son from the lexicon of the House. I feel like this whole movement, they're not giving anyone a chance to meet in the middle. They're just jamming the agenda.
I agree with you, but the same can be said for the right as well. There's Republicans right now who are still holding hope that the election will be overturned tomorrow.
I'm one of them.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, I could hold out, but I'm not, listen, I'm not calling up a local militia. I could hope, I'm a sports guy. I play till the echo of the whistle. If the game's over, the game's over. I know everyone thinks it's over. It probably is, but I'll give up and shake hands at the end of the game when it's over.
Yeah,
I think that's tomorrow.
But carrying that line on about the election having been stolen. By the way, I can't think of any opposition candidate for president anywhere in the world, and I've worked from sub-Saharan Africa to Southeast Asia and seen a lot of corrupt elections. Never have I seen an opposition candidate overturn an election.
I agree with you, and I don't think it's going to happen either.
It's a very far-fetched idea to suggest that Biden did.
I agree.
And at the end of the day, I think we all have to come to grips with reality. You were talking about how the left has to do it and what Pelosi has done, and this is crazy. But by eking out some of the positions that Republicans are now,
they're giving them the opening.
The election is rigged, giving them an opening.
I agree
just
with
to
you.
be more and more illiberal, more and more irrational, more and more tribal.
Got it.
It escalates from there. So
Ioannis.
moving forward, we've both got our work to do, and I am not hopeful that it's going to happen, but
got it.
we should.
All right, brother, we're up against it. I appreciate it. We got to get you back right away. I like having this kind of good, thoughtful conversation. Ioannis Gatsiounis, OpEd contributor.
Close enough.
What is it?
Gatsiounis.
Gatsiounis. All right, I was close, man. That's a tough one.
How close that was.
All right, brother. Have a good day. We'll see you soon.
You too.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, man.
All right, quick break. Back after this.